So two things come to mind. One is so some of my work that I do is, helping people who are ecopreneurs or, environmentally committed individuals accomplish their goals and live happier and healthier lives. And I think I'm so glad that you said that because, what we need is structures, physical structures. So the way I articulate it is we have roles, we have relationships, and we have physical spaces. Those are the three primary things that are constantly pushing us in our environment. And so if we create a physical structure like a home biogas toilet system that is constantly giving us a reminder and an incentive and a connection point to the land and to healing the land and the benefit that we get from healing the land, then it's self-referential and has that transformative effect that you're talking about. So I think it's genius, and I love the way that you're coming at it because the other point that I had written down earlier is, it's clear your purpose-driven intent of solving a problem, having meaning in your life, and making money, healing the environment, utilizing waste. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the permaculture principle of stacking functions, but you're solving all these problems solved by one thing, which is kind of like one of the holy grails of this type of living. And the last point I would want to make is just there's this idea sometimes which I get really frustrated, in which people separate spirit and matter. And I think this is a perfect example of how we can connect the two. And that's how I think ultimately how we're going to heal the earth, is with these technological advances that have this spiritual connection between matter and spirit, rather than taking it apart, putting it back together. So whatever your thoughts are from that, that's just so inspiring to me.
Thank you. I also got like what you said. I think I got inspiration from you is that you do it all in your farm. I believe that, and you talked about people that are like eco entrepreneurs. Um, one story I can tell about how to develop. Okay, is that in the beginning I was working a lot with people that are more rural, farms, nomads, Bedouins in the desert, and trying to build with them because they had animal waste, and trying to build with them the systems. And one day I was going to visit my grandmother. She was then 100 years old,
Wow.
and uh, and I was explaining to her again what I'm doing. So I said to her, I go to these rural areas. They have a farm, they have animals, and I try to build for them these systems. And then she looks at me and she says, "Do you have one in your house?" And I didn't. I didn't. And it made me think, like I said to her, and she then, like, these, 4 or 5 words from 100-year-old person is very long and very sharp, it's like, walk your talk,
Yeah.
then it's all,
Yeah.
this transformation. Say, okay, I have food waste. Maybe I can put it into the system. I don't have to have animal waste. Let's develop something different, something smaller, and etc. But I think to walk your talk, to develop in your house, one of the major points is that, my wife, my family, my children, and my partner's wives and family and children, and then the neighbors and neighbors and neighbors, they're part of the development. They need to say it's good, it's not good, it works well, it doesn't work well. All of these things are very important. Even, I'll tell you a little story. I was living, I told you, off grid, and I had a compost toilet like you have. And
Hmm.
one day, my wife, she was telling me, "Yeah, you listen. I'm tired. I'm tired throwing all of this sawdust. I'm tired putting all of this. I don't like the smell anymore. I don't want to do it. It's raining on me outside. No, find a solution. And the system and find a solution. And I really tried to work. I went online, tried to see different types of toilets, and slowly we actually put together also toilets that were check different types of toilets, and put them together, and in the end we got to a solution, and that worked well, and we really put together a very fine solution. And then my neighbors saw it, and then they said, wow, this is amazing, because I thought I was in this community of a community of people that were living off grid, and then they looked and said, wow, we want. And then another community next by said, wow, we want. And then that's how it started. And today it's really like a product, one of our major products that went out, but it came out from a need. It came out from a family
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. 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 You know, a thing that popped into my head when you were talking about that is that, again, with your system, we're integrating the, you know, the spiritual purpose oriented stuff into the physical landscape, into the matter, into the waste, into something that people don't respect, don't honor. It's a part of, like, you could call it a part of the death cycle, right? Because there's the life cycle and the death cycle in nature, right? And the decomposition is the death cycle. And so many people in the modern world are like, no, death, and it's part of that holistic part.